Pope Francis hosted a prayer session at the Vatican today following an invitation to the presidents of Israel and the Palestinian Authority. Here's Pizzey with more on that.
How are you? I'm fine.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too.
The unprecedented encounter was billed as a timeout in political negotiations, but leaders from 3 different faiths praying together in the Vatican was a political and diplomatic event cloaked with religion. Jewish rabbis, Christian cardinals, and Muslim imams intoned passages from the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. Peacemaking, Pope Francis said, calls for much more than warfare. It calls for the courage to say yes to encounter and no to conflict. In a way, he was preaching to the choir. Israeli President Shimon Peres and his Palestinian counterpart Mahmoud Abbas hammered out the first real Israeli-Palestinian peace accord as negotiators 20 years ago.
We greet each other with the blessing, Shalom.
Peres called himself an old man who had seen war and tasted peace and said leaders owed their children a better future. Abbas prayed to God to bring comprehensive and just peace to our country and region. Waiting for that has left people tired and disillusioned, Israeli Foreign Policy Advisor Nadav Tamir says.
But we have to do something about the lack of trust, the cynicism. And we believe that when the 3 leaders will send this message, it can have an effect on public opinion.
Francis publicly issued the invitation to pray together on his recent trip to the Holy Land, but he set it up in advance using a back channel, Spanish-speaking journalist Enrique Zimmerman.
He's very creative. He knows that the bureaucracies, the governments, the diplomats, it's very heavy. It takes time.
Enrique recorded this personal request from the Pope, who called him in a taxi in Rome to set up the meeting.
Perfecto. Perfecto, Papa Francisco. Yo les diré a ellos ahora.
The Vatican gardens suited everyone, and the ceremony ended with the planting of that most biblical totem of peace, an olive tree. As low as it was on expectations, the meeting was rife with symbolism. It may not seem like much, but in a process where progress has been incremental at best, symbols and gestures can be as good as it gets. Jeff?
Pizzey, thank you.